Hi, Rick and Judy here.
Hello, I'm Rick.
And I'm Judy.
And we've got another good question that we want to address. And I think it'd be a blessing for a lot of people. I love this little format, these little 5-minute videos that we do.
Just to give you something to think on during the day, and maybe you can relate to this, but we have a friend who, her husband is recovering from a drug and alcohol addiction, and it's been years and years, and he has some recovery under his belt, but he's I don't know, he's stumbling spiritually, or he's kind of lost his ground, and she really wants to know how she can be there for him, how to encourage him. I think she's set very strong requirements in the past for him to be able to come home, and so now she wants to know, how do I encourage him? How do I help him move forward in his spiritual walk after all he's been through and we've been through as a couple?
Yeah, one of the good things about the love of God that's been given us is it allows us to begin to sort of be that presence of Christ in people's lives, and to have that kind of power of love to help people, to restore. And so the best thing you can do, number one, is always let them know that you're with them and for them.
Right.
Remember, because you're one in this together, really. You're not two separate things, and one's struggling and then you're having to reap the consequences of somebody else's problem. You're together in this, and when that other person can know that they're not alone, it goes such a long way that somebody is with them in this, that they're not alone, because that loneliness is a big part of the pain and the roadblocks in people's recovery.
Feeling isolated.
Yeah, and so you number one, you always want to let them know that you're with them. So and of course you trust God to help you with that too. And as part of that, number two is that never any condemnation on it, because it just doesn't work. All it does is it makes them go deeper into their addictions. They feel so helpless. They feel like, well, it's not because I'm not trying here. It's not because I want to be in this shape. And so that they're never alone, and that there's no condemnation on them, only encouragement, and of course it takes the fruit of the Spirit a lot of times. It takes patience, it takes peace, it takes love, but you've got that with God. You can always draw on that. You find that.
That's what's so wonderful about you acknowledging and knowing and receiving the love of God, because the love of God is eternal. It's a fountain that never runs dry. So when you feel like, oh, I'm running dry, I really don't have anything to give this person, just remember to churn, and then you receive from God, and then you'll have it to give to your spouse.
Yeah, and we stay in the mindset by understanding how God is with us, and that way we can be that with other people. Yeah. God has been nothing but patient with me. Well, that sort of makes it easier for me to be patient with other people. God has been nothing but forgiving and merciful, and He's never beat me or condemned me for all the horrible things that I was doing. He just loved me out of it, and love not only covers a multitude of sins, but love doesn't fail. Yeah. Love just continues to go on and on.
I think sometimes it's even an honor.
I
think about in our own relationship that there's been times where one of us has fallen or struggled or something, but you get to be the love of God for that person.
Yeah,
you get
wonderful.
To say, you know what, you get a pass. You're never like this, I'm going to give you a pass. Or, there's so many good things about you that I'm not going to condemn you for this one falter of yours. And that's really the power of what God does to us in our sin. And when you're hooked into that, you can really, really bless your spouse.
And it makes you feel secure. It makes the spouse feel secure that there's room, for mistakes.
Imperfections,
even for relapses. There's room for that. And the love of God is a very powerful thing. And what people really need is not just to stop their activity. They need their heart healed by that love of God. So it's an honor, like you say, to be that love in these situations. And I think with that attitude, it makes it easier to be that, rather than it seeming like a burden and a chore.
Yeah.
When you look at it as it really is, it's an honor to be able to be that one, to be there to help. So
I think both of us have experienced addictions in our life, hardcore addictions. But I think it's not necessarily like, God's coming just to zap you and you're free of your addiction. You're
Right.
going to walk through. He weaves his ways into you,
Mm-hmm.
and you walk out of it. And
Yeah.
nobody's journey or nobody's way is for everyone. You have your own specific
Right.
walk and
You walk in it
relationship.
with God, and even though it's a horrible thing many times, it's part of our story, and it becomes something beautiful. It really is.
It does,
We
yeah.
can talk about those things because now, looking back, God has turned all that into something beautiful to talk about.
Right.
And then it also becomes a weapon that we can use to help other people too.
Yeah.
It's just God is so restorative.
Yes.
It's almost like you can't lose for winning.
Yeah. He can make anything into good. I love that.
Yeah.
And I love this question because this friend of ours, she goes back to my high school years, and just that she wanted
Yeah.
to be able to be
Yeah.
a good influence and encouragement to her husband is so touching to me, and
Yeah.
I love that. It's a great sign of love.
Love always makes a way.
Mm-hmm.
Always makes a way. Always have that element first, and it makes everything else easier.
So I hope this encouraged you today. I hope it gives you something to think on. And if you have any questions or anything you want to add, you can place your comments underneath where this video is posted. And we always go back and read those comments, and we can connect with you that way. So thanks, and
Have a great day.